welcome to Brazilian Vale Tudo fighting number 4 from São Paulo, Brazil. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Cruz, and joining me ringside, the man that knows more about this sport than I've probably forgotten, Federico Lapenda. Federico, welcome aboard, and tell us what kind of a card we have tonight.
Hi, Gary. Tonight we're going to have one 8-man tournament, one unusual 5-man tournament, plus a super fight. The super fight is going to be the legendary Zulu against Kunta Kinte.
Okay, in the 60-70 pound class, set up that category.
We're going to have André Ubirajara against Tulio Costa, Edmar Pasterezak against Alexandre Araújo, João Marcos against Juarez dos Santos, Maurício de Lima against Marcelo Rodrigues.
All right, and then of course we will go up in weight to the 70 to 80 kilogram weight, and again the unusual 5-man format.
Altair de Oliveira against Marcelo Barbosa, Cosminho da Silva against Rafael Cordeiro. And the winner will fight on the semi-final, Érico Correia.
All right. Federico, unusual format, but definitely we will have a champion. I know you're excited about this super fight.
Yeah, we're going to have Kunta Kinte fighting, which is the local, fighting Zulu. Zulu is a man who has fought Rickson Gracie for 2 times, and many people are curious to see him, his style of fighting. He's 50 years old now, but...
Oh, well, let's get to the little guys first of all, though. 132 pound class. And Andre against Tulio. Andre Cipaquito and Tulio, a freestyler. Here's our first combatant, and this young man is, well, like you said, they're all champions, and he's 25 years old.
And his style is Cipaquido, a Korean style of fighting. They learned to fight with the gi, 95% of striking, and now they incorporated some grappling to it.
And Tulio Costa, 23 years old. He's a freestyler, and again, a local here from São Paulo, Brazil.
And what Tulio, the reason why he's labeling himself freestyle or vale tudo or whatever you want to call it, is due to the fact that he's trained many different arts. So he felt it would be unfair to defend one single style.
Okay, Tulio, the taller of the two with the white knee pads, and both men come out very quickly in the center of the ring, throwing lots of strikes and trying to come up with the knees. Nice right hand there, but look at the fighting back, the counter punching by Tulio. And now both men down in the corner, Costa on top. Now here's where the war begins, Federico.
Absolutely. Tulio bringing Andre to the center of the ring, which means now he wants to grapple.
And they are, well, I'll tell you what, Andre's saying, you're not going to get too far from me, but watch Tulio here. He's going to try and get Andre to get that arm down so he can strike to the head as he pummels him in the rib cage with a bunch of strikes with that right hand. Definitely in a dominant position in the guard, Tulio Costa. All right, as they continue to work in the center of the ring, both men trying to plot their strategies. Andre trying to lock in with those legs to take some of that leverage away from Tulio as they work their way, they kind of worm their way over to the corner right now.
André Ubirajara is trying to bring Tulio Costa to perhaps to escape from the ring.
Well, Tulio continues to throw right-hand strikes to the rib cage of his opponent in that below position on bottom, Andre.
It's fair to say that Andre's ground knowledge is very limited, or else he would be trying to do a sweep or an elevator.
Well, look at that. Just continues to take right hands to the rib cage, and eventually that arm's going to come down, and that would probably allow Tulio to strike as he does some, there's a nice headbutt. Boy, he's pulling the head back. You can't gouge the eyes, but that's very, very close as the official puts his hand in there, says, don't gouge those eyes. You can headbutt all you want. And he lays another shot and another. Boy, redness already starting on the eye of Andre. Tulio with some big headbutts.
Andre allowed Tulio to headbutt him at least 8 or 9 times.
That'll give you a monster headache. Oh, another headbutt as he... Oh, you don't need much room to headbutt effectively, do you, in Vale Tudo?
No, absolutely not. The forehead is a very hard part of your body, much like your knees and elbows.
Very interesting. Tulio looking at his corner, throwing a blow to the rib cage again. Look at the crimson. The rib cage is just bright red now from taking all those shots. And along with the left eye area, Andre's taking a beating right now. Oh, some big right hands right there in close.
Tulio consulting from his corner man what to do next. I like when fighters are able to do that. To me, it gives me a good sense of.
Oh, he tapped.
Yeah, he tapped.
He took so many blows. He finally said, I can't take it anymore. Andre is out. Tulio advances. Tulio, a beautiful display of ground fighting as he just broke his man down. Look at his corner. They are fired up. They're a lot more fired up than the crowd. Both fighters showing sportsmanship, congratulate each other, and there he is. But I'll tell you what, very impressive performance in our opening 132-pound bout. Tulio Costa, the freestyler, the man that just came in here and really dominated from the early get-go.
Yeah, very, very true. Tulio was together, and he seemed to be in a higher level than Andre as far as skills are concerned.
You know what I really enjoyed about him, too, is the fact that he just looks so calm. It's like a man going to work with a lunch pail, and he says, okay, oh, you want me to hit him in the jaw? Okay, I'll slam him a couple of times right there. And the opponent says, no, I can't take any more of this. This is crazy. So that's it, and that one ended. Beautiful fight. Okay, let's go to our second bout here, and set it up for me.
He'll be Edimar Pasteurizac, a freestyler also who trains many styles. He's a 21-year-old, and he's going to fight Alexandre, who is on the screen now. Alexandre Araújo, a luta livre practitioner, 22 years old, with the black trunks.
And we'll get
Edimar.
we'll get a good look at Edimar right there. Boy, this guy, I've seen him fight in a previous bout. Look at the body on this young man. He is, that body fat kind of like yours, not very much. All right, Edimar.
No, actually, I think in a better shape than I. I think
Just,
his body's more
just
like yours.
a teeny bit. Okay, well, we're going to see, here they come, and both fighters. And now the Edimar is in the longer black trunks with a white stripe. Down the side has the white knee pads. Oh, and look at this. Actually, that was Pasteuric.
Alexandre gave a nice kick on the opener of the bout.
And both men go down. That was, boy, I'll tell you what, that'll wake you up immediately. Alexandre locking in. Now look at that. He takes the leverage away from Edimar.
He's trying to apply a guillotine choke, a technical headlock.
But it's hard to do that when your body is, you don't have the balance.
Yeah,
because he locked in and he really stretched him out very nicely. Edimar.
Right. Edimar, being a freestylist and fighting those fronts, he should be a good striker due to his fronts, with my comment.
Yeah, and the Luta Libre fighter, Alexandre, he should be more adept at ground fighting, you would think. But we'll see. Both men struggling. Edimar continues to remain on top, although he rolls over. We got a bit of a reversal, but that might last about a half second, and it does.
Yeah, those guys you see a lot of display of strength instead of technique.
Alejandro trying to, looks like he's trying to get out of the ring, and everybody's saying get back into the ring as he takes some elbows to the top of the head. Some good infighting here, ladies and gentlemen. Great crowd in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Brazilian Vale Tudo fighting number 4. Oh, a vicious right hand to the cheek area and a couple of short shots. Nice strikes. Oh, beautiful strikes by Edimar to the face of Alexandre. And a reversal. Alexandre on top, but Edimar locking in. Looks like he's got the guillotine.
He does.
He's got it, and it's over. It is over. A picture-perfect guillotine chokehold, and that's it.
Yeah, he sacrificed the top position for a guillotine choke, which was very smart.
Well, I'll tell you, once you get in that, you are in trouble, especially the way he really locked in so beautifully with that guillotine. And I'm sure we'll see as he gets congratulations and he goes over to both corners. Well, I'll tell you what, a very classy young man, Edimar, as he walks around and takes some congratulations. The crowd enjoyed his performance, and as you look at the opening kick right there, Alexandre with a great heel kick into the face, and then we started going, but that fight soon would turn in the tide of Edimar, and Edimar, as you're going to see, will eventually choke out his opponent with a beautiful guillotine. Just picture perfect. Some great striking inside to set him up, and then there it is. There's the clincher. Wow, what a fight.
A very easy submission to defend. You just have to put that left arm of his inside of Edimar's right hand, but
couldn't do it. All right, we move on. Federico, set us up.
Okay, the next fight is going to be João Marcos against Juarez Santos.
Joe against Juarez?
Yeah, João against Juarez.
Juarez. Okay, I'm going to learn my Brazilian a little bit better, but I'll tell you what. Marcos is the taller of the two. You see him right there. Very impressive. He's a jiu-jitsu man. And Dos Santos is 22 years old. Sipaquido is his forte. He has the blue trunks on, and we're going to rumble here in just a moment.
Yeah, Sipaquido against Jiu-Jitsu. Absolutely, Jiu-Jitsu being more, efficient in the ground, and Sipaquido more of a striking art. So looking for the Jiu-Jitsu man, try to close the distance quick.
And the Jiu-Jitsu man, the man in the black trunks with the blue knee pads.
You can tell by the handstand, but his only concern is to close the distance.
Okay, Marcos, the taller of the two, both men working around, and there they go. Marcos going to try and take his man to the ground, and it is, well, they're both down on the ground. Dos Santos, oh my, look at the strikes. Dos Santos is in big trouble. Big strikes by Marcos, and that's it. They're going to tap it out. He said, wait a minute, I can't take any more. He took some vicious shots, huge lefts, huge rights, and it's over. Wow.
Yeah, quick tap on Juarez's behalf, but João definitely a better grappler. No matter how long the fight would have gone, he would have won.
Now, you've got to wonder, Marcos, of course, certainly in the dominant position. Dos Santos, so I don't think he could be a big favorite of the Brazilian fan.
Absolutely.
Because if you tap out that quickly,
yeah,
I think the fans get a little ticked. I heard some hooting and hollering a little earlier.
Yeah, they don't appreciate very much.
Well, this is a great jiu-jitsu move right here as they both go down. And then watch just how wonderful Marcos will get on top and employ that great striking ability that he has. But this is just classic jiu-jitsu, isn't it? He is on top, and say goodnight, folks. Boy, just shot after shot. And I'll tell you what, I would tap, and I'd let the fans boo, and then I'd sneak out of town. Okay, we're going to our next bout.
This will be our last quarterfinal match.
That's right, our 60 to 70 kilogram class, 132 pound, Mauricio Lima. And De Lima is 20 years old, karate, full contact, and he will be fighting you see the distinctive white shock of hair there on the temple of De Lima.
Yeah, he's fighting Marcelo Rodriguez, who labels himself a freestylist, but in reality he's a sambo fighter. So look for Marcelo trying to bring the fight to the ground, while Mauricio is going to try to stand up.
Real easy to tell the difference between these two. The tall, bald gentleman, watch his eyes. I saw him walk into this ring, and you remember that character E.T.? He kind of looks a little bit like E.T., or E.T.'s older brother. Anyway, both fighters going at it, and again, De Lima is the shorter of the two in the white trunks. Rodriguez is the taller of the two. You see him right there, and
he's basically wasting energy trying to apply a guillotine choke, which has no effect from that point.
No, he's got to get that arm inside of the arm of De Lima, and he's not doing it at this point. He's kind of just standing there right now. And too early in the fight to take a rest, folks. Come on, guys, let's wake it up. I'll tell you what, the fans are going to not like this if these guys don't get going doing something.
Yeah, the Brazilian crowd is not very merciful. They want to see performance and top performance.
All right, well, both gentlemen continue to just kind of lie against the rings there, against the ropes, I should say. And, well, there's an attempt at a takedown, it looks like. De Lima trying to maybe get the taller man down. And Marcelo is trying to stay on his feet, but he goes down. Okay, we got some action. And
yeah, as I said, Marcelo is the samba fighter, so he was able to quickly capitalize and keep the mounted position. Now looks like Mauricio is turning. I hope he doesn't give his back.
he didn't, as he locks in on a headlock. Both fighters now right there near the ring, near the ropes, I should say, near the blue corner. And this just is like a war of will right now, because no one's really doing it. Not a lot of infighting at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
How long will the crowd stand for this one?
I don't know.
You're not going to start booing, are you?
No, not me.
All right, here we go. As they work their way, they come back, almost nearly leave the ring, but they come back in. Both fighters, and the taller fighter, Rodriguez, standing up tall. Now they're back on their feet, but doing very little. And again, this is Brazilian Ballet Tudo fighting number 4. I'm Gary Cruz along with Federico Lapena. Federico, these guys have got this crowd booing.
Yeah,
You can hear some catcalls there in the background.
Yeah, you can tell Mauricio does not want to go to the ground, and apparently Marcelo does not have enough skills to take him down. There you go.
He goes, I think he just
roll.
fell. A nice hip roll, I guess, if we can call it that. You saw a moment ago, though, a little headbutt, or a big headbutt to the back of the head. I don't think I'd advise that shot. I don't think that's going to hurt him very much. But at this point, a little inside fighting there, but not enough to really do any damage. Mauricio Lima.
Gary, now you're going to become one of the best cornermen in this business.
I could help him out. He tries a headbutt on the back, and again, that does absolutely no damage at all. Both men trying to maintain their stance, and it looks like Rodriguez wants to stand. Well, they just continue to kind of hang on to each other in the middle of the ring, and people are getting a little irritated at this point. Do you have any advice for either of these fighters? What would you tell them?
I mean, basically, I think my advice would be start fighting.
Hello, guys. Did you hear him? Federico says start fighting, and he actually got on the move a little bit.
I think Mauricio has a little bit of advantage because he seems to want to fight more than Marcelo, who's just holding for a position and almost
Now those shots are doing very little, aren't they? Those strikes to the back of the head.
Very little. Marcelo, he doesn't look confident enough to go to the ground, and being a grappler.
Oh, some good inside kicks with knees.
As I was saying, being a grappler, he should have enough skills to take Mauricio down anytime he wanted.
Yeah, and he's just not doing it. Nice, look at that redness over the right eye of the taller bald man, Marcelo Rodriguez. I think he got that one. He headbutted him in the back of the head. Somehow, I don't think a bald head and hair when you headbutt, I don't think that's a good combination. There's a little left hand to the ear. Look at the eyes of this man, Marcelo Rodriguez. I'll tell you what. A very frightening looking man.
He doesn't look very Brazilian.
Oh, he tries to take him down, but he can't do it. He slips out of the headlock. Gonna try and throw him. And there they go. They're just kind of standing in the middle of the ring. There's a little short left, but a nice knee to the thigh by De Lima. And then, boy, Marcelo counters with a knee of his own. You've got to get very close to really deliver an effective knee. These two look like ballroom dancers in about the 24th hour of a marathon dance, don't they?
Yeah, the fight leads to a little bit more of action, not just becoming a sleeper. Marcelo,
We're not used to that in Vale Tudo.
Absolutely not.
And the referee isn't either, so he breaks him up. And he says, okay, come on, guys, let's see what you got left. Look at those eyes. Scare me. Very intent look, huh?
Yeah, but doesn't seem to be making Mauricio back down, you know?
No, I think he's felt the best blows that he can from Marcelo. And there's a left hand there as he walks into it, but nothing big. And again, if Marcelo's going to try and put a guillotine on De Lima, he's going to have problems because he's not set up at all for that. And he looks very confused, at least from this perspective. About 9,000 people here in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and about 8,000 of them are not happy with the way this fight has gone because there's been very little action, but you never know. These fights can turn on a dime. We've seen it happen so many times before.
Absolutely.
Can you spit on the opponent? That looked like he sprung a leak. There they go. They continue to work against the ropes, doing virtually nothing, these two. Occasionally you'll see a little flurry of activity. Marcelo Rodriguez looking into his corner, trying to get some help. I think he needs it at this point. I think both fighters do. De Lima trying to get it back out into the center of the ring. He's going to try a throw, and he does. He brings his man down. He's on top, and he's in a great striking position. Mauricio de Lima is on top here. He has his man, Marcelo Rodriguez. Oh, a nice elbow to the back of the head, and here come the strikes. Bunches of lefts and rights. Many of them are landing. Rodriguez trying to ward off the blows, but he's taking some severe punishment. Vicious strikes, lefts and rights. Here they come. And that's it. The referee says you couldn't take any more, Marcelo. You were boring me to death. And De Lima will move on. Wow, that ended very quickly.
Yeah, De Lima guarantees his place in the semifinals. Together with João Marcos, Edmar Costa and Tulio Costa.
You know, Federico, like I said earlier, this fight just very, very boring for quite a while. And then all of a sudden, it turned just like that. And when De Lima finally was able to get his opponent to the ground and assume a position of power where he got a full mount on top.
Yeah, you had Marcelo Rodriguez very skeptical, not wanting to really, you know, fight.
Right,
So,
and look at the shots he's taking. And he just, when the referee felt he was defenseless, he finally stopped it. Although he looked like he had a lot of gas left, it didn't look like he was ready to go. But I'm not the ref. Okay, we move up in class here. And actually, this will be the semifinals. You see it, Tulio, Edmar, Marcos, and Mauricio. It's going to be a great, great semifinal. We move up in class now. Go to the 70-80 kilogram weight, 154 pounds. Our first bout of the night.
yeah, first we're going to have Altair de Oliveira, luta livre practitioner, who's fighting with the light tank top and the red trunks. He's a 31-year-old native of Curitiba, which is here in the south of Brazil, and he's fighting Marcelo Barbosa, who is a Chinese boxer, and also from São Paulo, a 24-year-old.
He doesn't look Chinese to me.
No.
I'm just kidding. Here we go. The ponytail. We've seen other fights that we've done together, Federico, where people have worn ponytails, and I'll tell you what, I would shave my head before I got into the ring. But, by the way, is Altair wearing that shirt because he has a little flab around the middle, or is he just wearing it because of comfort?
Who knows? Altair.
Altair, I tell you what, I don't think that's a good idea to wear a shirt because the opponent can grab it and use it to his advantage. Oh, a nice kick.
Following up with a nice jab.
Another good round kick.
Yeah, Marcelo showing decent setup skills, you know?
Yeah, Barbosa, the Chinese boxer. Oh, there he goes, and he goes down.
Yeah, Marcelo's
Lost his balance, didn't he?
yeah. Marcelo's from the same school as Giudice, who is
Right.
a fighter who was fought in our shows. And those who have seen it knows who he is.
Yeah, Giudice actually has a couple of fighters on tonight's card. We saw one a little earlier in the evening, and but right now we've got some infighting here. On top, Altair de Oliveira.
Altair on top, but struggling a little bit. Marcelo before the fight had some kind of I don't know exactly what, but apparently he had some medical precondition that he almost didn't fight, but Giudice decided that he should fight anyways. So we're looking at Marcelo not fighting with a full tank of gas, if you know what I mean.
I hear you, and that's tough to come in when you're not feeling 100%. But he's hanging in there, although he is on the bottom. Marcelo Barbosa.
Yeah, he's able to hold Altair's head, which is the right position, so to avoid any headbutt. And not being very aggressive either. He's not trying to sweep or anything. He's just trying to fight it on a closed guard, as you can tell with the legs crossed.
Right, when they're locked in like that. And it's a couple of very, very minor strikes, really, nothing big.
Yeah,
And finally, it looks like he may go to the hair, maybe try and yank that hair to his advantage. We'll see. He's looking at his corner. Still very cool, calm, and collected at this point.
yes.
No sense of urgency.
Again, he's looking at Marcelo, and now
Altair is looking over in his corner, too. And now,
tried to apply an armbar.
tried the armbar, didn't work, and he paid for it. Took a right hand. There goes the hair. Watch it. Oh, he uses the hair beautifully to strike with the left hand, holding the ponytail of Altair. Barbosa lands several good shots to the jaw.
And you called it. The ponytail shouldn't come to the ring.
Boy, there's a headbutt that hit the chest. So we'll call it a chest butt. Okay. But look at Barbosa. Look at his corner. It's amazing. They all, the fighters continually look in their corners for instruction to try and get help.
Yeah, as I pointed out earlier on, I'm a big fan of fighters who are able to communicate with their corners. To me, it shows a high level.
Yeah, really, of understanding and cooperation. You're exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen fighters, kickboxers. There's a fighter by the name of Peter Arts who, I mean, his corner is like, it looks like they're holding a remote control. I mean, they call every shot before he does it, and then he does it, and he's able to do very well in fights due to that ability of listening to his corner.
That's why he's been a world champion, a K1 champion. Right now, look at Barbosa. Barbosa on a reversal, on a full mount. There's a lot of infighting right now. Headbutts attempted by Barbosa to the head of Altair. He's in a very good position to strike here.
Yeah, Barbosa now.
Just using all of his weight on his opponent, and he strikes a couple of hooks, lefts and rights as he strikes, but not a lot of damage inflicted at this point.
Altair trying to escape from under the leg.
Oh, good headbutt. Very good. Several headbutts, several right hands as the action picks up here in Sao Paulo, Brazil, in the 154-pound class. Altair on the bottom, Marcelo on top. A complete reversal of the first half of this bout. There's Marcelo Barbosa looking in his corner saying, yeah, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to strike. And he does. Altair looking a little bit desperate at this point. He's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Altair definitely with less ground skills, fighting more with heart than technique per se. I mean, not to say that he's trying to do the right escape from multiple position. One of the escapes is, to try to slip between the legs. But you can tell, I mean, there's a huge waste of energy from Altair's behalf. And while Marcelo is just managing the position to apply a few blows.
Boy, he does too. Beautiful shots. But you don't want to get too high on that front mount position because he could toss you off. The man on the bottom, if you get too far over his head, He can toss you off and toss you right off, maybe get a reversal. And just a couple of short shots from the bottom by Altair to the jaw of Barbosa. Okay, fighters lock in their feet. That's one way to keep on that front mount, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a full mount, and boy, just using that weight, trying maybe to smother his opponent. But Altair's head is turned to the right, so he can breathe, no problem.
Yeah.
It can't be much fun, though.
You get Marcelo one more time looking at his corner and saying, what do I do now?
He's really worked up the body here. He's very, very high on the body. His waist is almost at the face of his opponent.
Yeah, but that's because you have Altair trying to escape under his legs, and that's why Marcelo is keeping those hooks on Altair's legs.
Exactly. And a good move, good strategy. Now he needs to get a little room where he can come up and...
Now he goes for the armbar for the Americana.
There he goes. Oh, no way he's going to lock that one in. It never had a chance. He's going to try it again, though. Tries for the armbar. Nope. Altair not cooperating with Marcelo Barbosa.
It's funny because, I mean, of course, both fighters speak Portuguese, and then you have Marcelo's corner saying, apply an Americana, and then Altair is able to hear and defend from it even before he tries.
Exactly.
That's why sometimes it's good when, the fighters fighting from different countries and they don't understand each other's language.
Yeah. Have they ever used sign language? I don't know. Don't kind of use your arm and, hey, put it in an armbar, please. He tries it again, but really having no success with the efforts to lock in an armbar. So he just stays on top, and he's going to just use all that weight on top of his opponent. He's got the hooks in still, and he's throwing lefts and rights. It's hard to get any leverage, though, when you are hooked into somebody because you just don't have the balance that you'd like to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, you can strike, but there's a nice bruise that is formed in the forehead of Marcelo Barbosa. Wow. Is that a bruise or a tattoo? That is a bruise, isn't it?
Where, in the arm?
Right on the forehead.
Yeah, it's a bruise.
Wow. Okay, little short, just chopping blows, and he looks at his corner, Barbosa, and says, hey, man, I'm trying everything I can here.
Yeah, as I pointed out earlier, Marcelo is not 100%. There was a medical problem he had before the fight, and it kind of shows in his performance.
Yeah, because he'll get a flurry of blows occasionally, and then just drop and look at his corner for more help. And right now, he just continues to lie on top of Altair de Oliveira. And he keeps those legs hooked in right there. He doesn't look like he's desperate by any means, or he doesn't look like he's losing his cool.
Oh, no, he's keeping the position well. He's keeping those hooks to avoid Altair to escape. Altair is trying to escape in between his legs, as you can tell.
Right.
But the right thing for Marcelo to do would be to hold Altair on both of his arms and pull him back up. But
he may not have the strength to do that at this point as he tries to apply an armbar. He's trying to lock in that armbar.
Becoming, at this point, he's vulnerable to be rolled if Altair knew the right technique.
Oh boy, he continues to throw a lot of rights, using that right hand almost exclusively as he strikes to the head of De Oliveira. But I'm just wondering, you mentioned it several times, he was ill, and you got to wonder how much gas he has in his tank, because when he hits the wall, it's going to all fall. It's going to end for him, if indeed that happens. But right now, it doesn't look like it. It looks like he's still in pretty good shape here.
Yeah, and also remember that he has 2 more fights ahead of him. If he wins this fight, okay, fight's over, goes to the judges. And if he wins this match, he has to match up later on against Rafael Cordeiro, who is going to be a very surprising fight tonight. He's a Thai fighter in Jiu-Jitsu that comes from a good clan of fighters here in the south of Brazil. It's Rafael, Pelé, and some other fighters.
Well, he looks exhausted, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's saying, I don't know, man.
That's good, Giudice. And
oh! That surprises me.
Right. You know, it wasn't the judge's decision. It was called by Marcelo Barbosa. Gave up. He said he couldn't continue.
Yeah, he looks in distress at this point.
Right.
That's the first time all night we've seen him look in distress. He was not hurt by his opponent at all.
No.
He dominated the fight, actually.
I don't want to take any credit from Altair either, who hung in there. And, you know, even though he advanced to the same final by default of Marcelo, he was able to keep it together and defend himself well from the bottom position. As you can tell, he doesn't even have a cut.
No, he doesn't at all. But he took a lot of punishment. But you're right. For the most part, he defended pretty well. And again, Barbosa not at his best because he's physically unable to continue due to illness. And he said, "That's it." Okay. Well, the action is fast and furious. We are going to the semifinals, and I'll tell you, this is interesting. This has been some very good action here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Brazilian Vale Tudo fighting number 4. We'll go back to the smaller fighters, 132-pound class, Tulio against Edmar, and both men advanced from impressive first-round fights. That is Tulio, as you see a little preview of what he did in an earlier bout as he finally got his man to submit, as did his opponent Edmar with a great guillotine in that 132-pound class. These are two very, very skilled Vale Tudo fighters.
Yeah, now we're in our semifinals, and as you pointed out, 6'70". We have Tulio against Edmar, two freestylists.
Tulio in the taller of the two in the blue trunks. Edmar, the shorter man with the white stripes, both come out throwing heavy, heavy strikes. Especially Tulio. Tulio is rocking Edmar with lefts and rights, and Edmar finally works his way in, and he's on a side mount. In a pretty good position at this point. As he wraps up his opponent. Edmar, though, is the one that's the black trunks with the white stripes, throwing a couple of good strikes to the back of the head. We're in the semifinals of the 132-pound class. Tulio came out like a buzzsaw, throwing huge strikes. Edmar weathers the storm, gets his man on the ground, and now he's in a favorable position. Lands a couple of strikes to the rib cage. Going to try and get that left arm down so he can go up top and inflict more damage.
Right.
You like these smaller fighters because of just the speed and quickness they show, don't you?
Absolutely. I think that when you get the good small fighters, it's so entertaining because they're fast and they go, if they're on the bottom, on the ground, they go from an arm bar to a triangle choke to a sweep. There's non-stop action with these guys.
Now, those caps, you see those little, they don't seem like big strikes.
No, and he's giving with the back of his hand.
I mean, what does that do? Nothing?
Nothing. I think it's just to try to show that, his corner of the people that he's being the aggressor.
Okay, and I think it also lets the guy know below that I think I have a little more left for you.
Yeah, but I think you waste more energy than it's worth.
Well, these are macho men. The toughest of the tough.
Tulio against Edmar.
They have gathered here in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Two freestylists, as I pointed earlier on. The reason why they label themselves freestylists is because they have trained on, 2 or 3 different martial arts, and they felt unfair to call themselves either one or the other.
Jiu-jitsu or karate or whatever. You're exactly right.
And I think that's the future of this sport. I think sooner or later everybody's going to label themselves under one title, which I think should be Vale Tudo. And because there's, like in boxing, everybody's fighting the same sport, boxing.
Right.
And I think Vale Tudo needs everybody to train Vale Tudo, which is striking and grappling.
Which and it legitimizes the sport, which, by the way, is 70 years young, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, some vicious headbutts by Edmar. Great headbutts. As Tulio tries to keep his man at bay. He's trying to use the feet to get him away from him. It's not effective at all. Boy, Edmar is right on top of him like a coat of paint. He's not letting him breathe. He's not giving him any chance to defend himself at this point.
Yeah, we had Tulio getting the better of Edimar in the beginning of the match on top, and once they went to the ground, it seems that Edimar is managing the position better.
The headbutt's taking their toll. You see redness over the right eye of Tulio. And these two men are involved in a fierce battle.
Yeah, a lot of action.
Boy, the inside fighting, and I don't know if Edimar wants to hit himself on the knuckles again like that. Look at that headbutt, though, to the jaw. That was wonderful. And another one. The side of Tulio is starting to get red from all those strikes. His face is taking a pounding right now as Edimar continues to come in with the headbutt, although the right hand is there to try and ward off some of those blows. A lot of instruction coming from the corner. Boy, you can just see this Edimar trying to figure out what he can do to stop this man that continues to headbutt him and strike him upside the head, and he's coming from all angles right now. They just continue to work inside. Look at the leverage that Edimar has used with his legs spread out like that. There's no way that he's going to roll out of that.
Yeah, we got Tulio fighting from in a very defensive, closed guard. Not trying to do much, but it seems like he's waiting for time to go by. So
hoping that maybe Edimar will fight himself out, and maybe get a little tired so he can finally try something, because the best action that he has shown in this fight was in the opening few seconds, where he landed some wonderful lefts and rights before he was taken down, and there's a tap. It's over. Tulio's saying, that's it, I can't take anymore. It's over. Edimar with a wonderful performance after weathering a lot of blows early in that fight. Boy, that man is cut too. What a physique. He administered some severe damage, and you look how shaky Tulio is as he gets up. He was rocked so much. I mean, those headbutts really took their toll, and then he choked him. Actually had that forearm in his neck, and I think that's what really did it.
A very easy choke to escape, but it shows the lack of ground skills from Tulio's behalf, who labeled himself a freestylist.
Look at the strikes so early in this fight. This is when I thought, oh my goodness, we're going to have a war here. As it turned out, we did. But if you're a ground fighter, these guys will take a lot of punches to get a guy down on the ground, and that's exactly what he did. And he managed to just a whole series of punches and headbutts, and that finally was enough for Tulio, as he said, I can't take it anymore. Get me out of here. You see that arm across his neck. He's saying, man, I can't breathe. And that's one of the easier chokeouts you will see in this sport. All right, set up our other semifinal.
Yeah, we have João Marcos, the jiu-jitsu practitioner, fighting with Black Trunks. There he is. And when he fought Juarez dos Santos, a Sipakido. And João Marcos will fight Mauricio Lima, a karate fighter, fighting with the White Trunks. There he is, defeating Marcelo Rodrigues.
That video's a little misleading too. A little bit misleading because that was the only action in that entire fight. So maybe, I've got a funny feeling though that Marcos will step up the action a lot more than Marcelo Rodriguez did.
Yeah, if you remember, Mauricio was just fought a bout against Marcelo Rodriguez, the Sambo freestylist, bald guy, and he showed very little ground skills, knowledge, and he's fighting a guy who's very comfortable on the ground, who is going to wait a little bit, and as soon as Mauricio starts striking, he will close the distance.
Mauricio in the white trunks, Marcos in the black. Marcos now pinned in his corner at this point.
Front guillotine choke.
Yes, it is. And
from this camera angle, we cannot tell if he's doing proper, but that's a guy who would know how to do a front guillotine choke. We might be even looking at a quick fight there.
Oh, look at that. Some good knees to the midsection. More knees. Oh, great strikes with the knee to the midsection. That'll wear a man out in a hurry. If those arms come down, that guillotine gets locked in and it's over, folks. But right now, Mauricio de Lima is holding on for dear life as he has that left hand of Marcos to not let him lock in that guillotine.
I have a question now that I'm seeing those strikes. Why do Americans call those strikes Charlie horses, Gary?
Because some guy named Charlie got kicked by a horse in the thigh, and it suffered a major contusion. And since then, in the old West days, that's how that came about.
Is it true?
Yes, got kicked by a horse. His name was Charlie. And they've been there ever since. And if you've ever had one, you know what I'm talking about. They're incredibly painful.
Very much so. But I could never understand the English. The English language is something interesting to me, you know.
Of course. You've learned an awful lot, though, since your days at UCLA, I'm telling you. Here we go.
They didn't teach me what Charlie horse was.
No, well, I just taught you.
I don't think I deserve my degree then.
No, you can have it. Just don't have any Charlie horses in your next show.
All right.
There we go. But good knees there. Good action there by the man that has started out, Marcos. Marcos comes in. Now he's going to try and take this man down. Trying to get him to the ground.
Yeah, Mauricio is doing exactly the same thing he did against Marcelo in the prior fight. He just tried to stay on the ground, but now that's the ground. I mean, tried to stay up.
Yeah, and now Marcelo's in a full mount, but Mauricio has that headlock.
Yeah, João Marco, the Jiu-Jitsu man with the black trunks fighting on top, has got the mounted position, and he's just going to wait for Mauricio to release that hold. And
Mauricio's going to have to let go if he keeps taking strikes to the ribs like that. I mean, how much can you take?
I think the adrenaline is so much right now that he's not feeling them, you know?
Yeah, I guess when he hears a crack, he may let that can come down. There it goes. And he's down top. Oh, big strikes right now. Striking. And he turned his back. A huge mistake as he's getting pummeled in the head, the back of the head and the side of the head.
He won't give up.
Marcos continues, and that's it. De Lima says, wait a minute, I wasn't finished. He's, whoa, but no, it's over. He was pretty defenseless at that point. The referee steps in, and the fans don't like it. The fans wanted to see a little bit more because I don't think De Lima was finished either. You remember his last fight when he came out and he waited around, he held on, and I think the referee should have taken that in the note because he turned it in a dime. But this time, Marcos is your man. He's going to the final against Edimar. But I'll tell you what, from the get-go, from the outset of this fight, he was really the dominant factor.
Yeah, he was the aggressor without a doubt. And you were talking about the referee stopping the bout too early. That is one of the concerns about the promoter of the show. And I've talked to them about it, and they said, you know, the moment they feel that the fighter is at any danger, you know, they will stop the bout. They say this is a sport, you know, that there is nothing personal. And they're not going to expose the fighters to any permanent danger because of their stubbornness, you know.
And as a promoter, you agree with that, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a promoter myself as well, but in this show, I'm only an executive producer, but I agree. I think it's got a good point.
Well, there's your final, Sandra. Boy, I'll tell you what, we should have an awesome final. Yeah. Two wonderful fighters, Edimar and Marcos.
You'd be freestyle against the jiu-jitsu.
All right, well, remember we get in our 154-pound class, we have a rare five-man tournament called Nino, the Luta Libre man, against Rafael Cordeiro.
Yeah, Cosminho and Rafael are the 7 and 8, even though it was labeled as the semi-final. This is still the quarterfinal for the 70-80.
There you go, and easy to tell this man, De Silva, he has a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, he's a Luta Libre fighter, and he's fighting Rafael Cordeiro, a Muay Thai Jiu-Jitsu guy, who comes from a clan of fighters here in Curitiba. Not here in Curitiba, in Curitiba,
Where's Curitiba?
Curitiba is in the south of Brazil, where it's funny because it's one part of Brazil where there are many blondes. Usually when you talk about Brazil, you picture people being more darker, you know?
Right.
Which is not his case.
He's definitely not blonde. Okay, both fighters in the middle of huge strike, and another strike. Great attack here by Rafael Cordeiro, or Rafael as the R sounds like. He's down here. He continues to just dominate his opponent. He is on top.
Rafael is the crowd favorite. He's a Thai fighter with very great to fight stand-up skills, who also trains grappling.
Well, De Silva didn't know what hit him because he came out and he was rocked by a shot, and it buckled his knees, and then he eventually goes down, and here's where we are.
It's very easy to know the crowd's favorite here in Brazil, even if you don't have sound. Usually, every time the favorites fight, you can tell the crowd gets wide and they start walking and they're coming close to the ring.
That's right. I've experienced this up close and personal many times. And they're not afraid to talk to the commentators either. As I had a threat one time in Sao Paulo. But I got out with my life. I'm okay. Here we go.
They can't tell your skills, Gary.
That's right. They didn't know I was a boxer. And a bad one.
A golden glove.
Yeah. Here we go. I'll tell you, it looks like at this point that Cosmino da Silva is holding on for dear life. He's trying to really collect himself because he was truly rocked. And Rafael Cordeiro, impressive as he comes out with a full frontal assault, strikes, and then he takes his man down, and we've ended up now for the last minute or so in this posture as Cosmino is just holding on below, underneath.
Those from Los Angeles know who Gary is, the sportsman. So some just strike me now. It's very interesting that I see you in my living room every night telling me the results, and now here you are.
Well, the result of this is right now that left eye, or makes that the right eye, is taking a couple more blows, but there's a cut on the right eye of Cosmino da Silva, and there is exactly what Rafael is going for. He is trying to strike that eye. He sees blood, and he's like a shark, Federico.
Yeah, there's a story in Brazil about I don't know if I should tell you this. It's a long one. But
I hope it lasts longer than the fight.
There is a kid who was walking by the street, and he saw this old man who had a mule. And he, the kid asked the old man, "Can I have your mule, please? Will you give it to me?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll give it to you, but you must promise to be nice and never hit the mule." So the kid said, "Okay." The old man went by his business, and the little kid was trying to pull the mule. The mule never moved. So the old man came back up and said, "Are you still here?" He said, "Yes, I'm still here." And he said, "The mule won't move." So the old man took a piece of stick and hit the mule in the head. And the kid said, "But you told me to be nice with the mule, not take him in anywhere. I mean, not hurt him or anything." And the old man said, "Yeah, I said for you to be nice, but in order for you to be nice, first you have to get their attention."
Well, I think that
Rafael
definitely got
Cosmino.
Cosmino's the mule, and Rafael is the old man, and he chokes him out, and it's over.
That's it.
Da Silva never had a prayer. Look at the crowd. They're going crazy. Watch out for yourself. They're going to run us over. Oh, my. Big cut, the intended to. Da Silva, though, is a victim in this case. What an impressive performance by Cordeiro, the man from the land of the blondes.
Okay, so I'm going to explain a little bit because we have a 5-man tournament in the 70 kilo and 80 kilo.
Oh, look at that left hand there. You've got to take note of that. That put him on his wallet. And then he came in with another strike, and he just really buckles the knees. And this fight was over before it started. I mean, what a brilliant performance.
Rafael is a very well-balanced fighter. Of course, with being a better striker, you can tell he's very precise at the kicks, at the punches. And it's beautiful when you see a striker learning to grapple because, they become incredible fighters.
All right, now tell me exactly who fights who.
Okay, what has happened is Altair de Oliveira fought Marcelo Barbosa. Altair won due to Marcelo's medical condition.
Right.
And Cosminho fought Rafael Cordeiro. So those two advanced to the semifinal. Now, since it's a 5-man tournament, we have Erico Correa in standby. So what happens is Rafael Cordeiro will do a draw against Altair de Oliveira, and whoever wins advances to the final, which was the case of Rafael, who guarantees his place in the final. Altair, on the other hand, for losing on the draw, has to fight Erico Correa.
Okay, well, here we go.
Erico is a Sipakido, 23-year-old. He will be fighting on the red corner with a black gi and black trunks.
I've seen this young man fight before, and very, very strong fighter.
Yeah, he will fight Altair, the guy with the tank top, who fought in a last bout
The
against
man with the
Marcelo.
ponytail
Right.
after, you're right, Barbosa had to really throw in the towel because he physically wasn't able to go.
A little bit unfair for Altair, who if he wins, will have to 3 bouts against Rafael, who will only fight 2. But I mean, they agreed before they got into the game, and in Brazil we say that whatever is agreed is not expensive.
Erico in the black trunks tries a couple of sweeping leg kicks, comes up with a knee to the midsection, and he wants to punch and kick, and he's doing exactly that. Altair trying to get in close to take his man down. Boy, nice flurry of opening punches, and we have a problem with a glove.
Yeah.
Looks like they're gonna have to replace that glove, but boy, that might be a break for Altair because he took some pretty good shots to open this fight. Fixing his ponytail. I'm not making fun of him.
Yeah, Gary, I think you should grow a ponytail.
No, I'm past those days. Here we go. Okay, Altair is taking some more shots from Erico. Erico with lefts and rights. Altair trying to close the distance. Oh, he comes up with a nice uppercut. Nice opening activity in this fight. This semifinal in the 70 to 80 kilogram class. 154 pounders. Oh, big right hands. Both men. And down. No. Boy, I thought that Altair was going down after that last right hand, but it's going to take more than that. That guy's got a jaw like granite. Both men now fighting in the corner. Erico trying to land some shots with the right hand. Altair has his man now, I think, where he wants him. He's trying to keep him very close because if they stand apart, he's dead. This guy, Erico, will cut him up. He's a much superior striker.
Yeah, you call it right.
Well, look at that. As soon as he got away from him. Now he's going to wade in. He's going to take some punishment. I'm talking about Altair. Boy, a nice kick that buckles the knee of Altair. That knee missed. That left hand to the midsection didn't. And there is a nice big midsection on Altair. He's a big guy. He continues to take a lot of strikes. Oh boy, just some unbelievable inside work by Erico. He comes with a kick and a knee. Altair is just hoping this guy punches himself out so he slows down so he can get him to the ground and do some work.
Altair is complaining about something. Apparently, Cordeiro is putting his thing in his eyes.
You can't do that, Erico. And that lasted very briefly. All right, they continue to wage war on the ring, on the ropes. Now, anytime there's just a little brief pause in the action, stuff starts flying into the ring, usually trash. But these two fighters, though, are trying to figure out what to do here. Is Altair, I know he wants to get Erico down on the mat. Altair, the man in the yellow t-shirt, tank top t-shirt, in close, short chopping right hand by Altair to the jaw of Erico. Altair using the rope for leverage.
Yeah, Altair, the luta livre fighter, apparently trying to avoid the ground activity. Oh, at the same time, he doesn't want to fight standing up with Erico Correa, who showed very good skills of standing up.
Wonderful skills, and I'm wondering why Erico can't get out of there. They go, but the referee says we need some activity.
Very
guys.
good call by the referee.
Excellent time to step in there, and the fans appreciate it as you see them cheer the move by the ref to break it up. Now Erico, this is his place right here. Just a good striker, a wonderful striker, but he needs to have distance. And look at the dogged pursuit, and finally Altair gets his man on the ground. working in close. He finally got him down. About 3.5 minutes into this fight, and there is somebody's bleeding. Blood all over the back, so I'm assuming it's coming from the face of Altair. And it definitely is. There's a vicious cut.
It looks like Altair has a choke there. A front guillotine choke. Oh, I don't believe Eric is going to tap like that. He's giving up.
He throws a right hand. He hasn't given up yet.
Oh, no.
And it's
Front
oh,
guillotine choke. That's it. It's over.
No. He hasn't called it yet.
He's going to fall asleep.
Boy, the blood is gushing out of the forehead. Look at that blood. Oh, that's it. You're right. Great call, Federico. Just before he loses consciousness, the referee steps in, but I'll tell you what, Altair does not look like the winner, but ladies and gentlemen, he is. He waited and waited, took some severe punishment. He's going to go leave the ring immediately to get fixed.
Okay, and now Gary will go to the slow-mo.
Gosh, great strikes. And you were right, you know, when you called this man is a great stand-up fighter, and he needed to keep that range. Oh, but that's a pretty good right hand by Altair. But Erico with huge strikes there, and that looked like Altair was going to go down. Finally, he took all of that punishment to do this, to get his man to the ground, and then he took over from there.
Yeah, but even from the bottom, Erico was able to open a big cut on Altair's forehead, who I don't even know if he's going to be able to come to the final. And he'll have to fight a fresh Rafael Cordeiro, who, as you remember, is an incredible striker with ground skills.
We'll have to see, but you can see all the blood there. Anyway, that is your final, and that's how it sets up, but we do not know if Altair will be able to advance. So we're going to the final now. We back it up one more time of the 60 to 70 kilogram class, 132 pounds of dynamite, and we have a wonderful final, don't we?
Oh yeah, we do. The final is going to be freestyle Edmar Pausturezak against João Marcos do Jiu-Jitsu.
All right, you say that so eloquently. It sounds like you speak the language. Here's your one of your finalists. And I'll tell you what, I've been impressed with the way this young man has been able to come up. And I'm talking, of course, about Marcos. Marcos has put on quite a show, as has Edmar. So we're very fortunate to have a final. I think the two best fighters got through the draw, and here we go.
I think this fight will be either a quick one or they'll go to judges.
Okay, they come out. Edmar in the black trunks with the white stripes, the shorter of the two.
Edmar with a lot of heart throughout the show, but
great takedown.
Absolutely. As you remember, Edmar was fought against his two other partners not to go to the ground because he wanted to fight standing up. And Marcos, being a jiu-jitsu man, he's going to be able to capitalize. And there he goes.
And that's a perfect jiu-jitsu move. Take your man down like he did in his last fight. But unlike the last fight, Edmar now has those arms pinned.
And he actually has a sweep from where he is, if he knew how to apply it.
We'll see.
Because once you lock those two arms on the inside, the guy on top loses his balance.
Nice headbutt from below. You don't see that very often. As Marcos tries to stand up, he takes another headbutt, does very little damage. I'll tell you what, Edmar doing a very, very intelligent thing. Lock those arms up to avoid taking those strikes like the previous opponent of Marcos did.
Yeah, but the only problem is he's wasting a lot of energy because he must keep his head up high to avoid the headbutts, and what that does is it gives an incredible neck pain.
Any chance to go for an armbar in this situation?
Actually, if you move your arm up like this, but you must be on the guard to be successful.
Right.
So from that point, not really.
So right now, that's a very difficult move, and as the education of Gary Cruz continues here in São Paulo, Brazil. Federico Lapenda ringside with me here, and we are in the final of the 132-pound class. The man on top, Marcos, Edmar on the bottom. As a ringside person is getting a couple of the folks away from the fighters, they tend to really jam up around the ringside here, so hard to see sometime. Our vantage point becomes obscured on occasion. Oh, the arms come free and the strikes begin. Edmar really doing very little damage at this point as Marcos keeps his head very close to the body as he tries to work his way out of trouble. But big strikes and nice lefts and rights.
Actually, Gary, Eddie Mario on bottom is trying to fight his way out of it.
You're exactly right. I got so excited.
Big mistake.
Oh, we've got a huge mistake as Marcos is locking in.
He gives his back to jiu-jitsu, man.
And that is doom in many cases. And there, it looks like he's tapping. And it's over. Boy, you're right. A huge mistake by Edimar. Marcos locked in that beautiful chokehold, and it is over. There is your champion in a wonderful display of jiu-jitsu power in Vale Tudo Fighting, our #4 championship. Boy, what a fight.
Absolutely. Well, my goal now is to bring some of the light American guys to fight on this tournament in the Brazilian Vale Tudo Fighting, to see how the American technique has improved with this past year.
Well, the past year, I know a lot of Americans have been to Brazil, have trained with a lot of Brazilians. As a matter of fact, up in the Los Angeles area, some of the great Vale Tudo fighters are spending part of the year up here working with some Americans, aren't they?
Absolutely. So, I mean, I'm very curious to see how the Americans will do. And my gut feeling is that Americans are going to be able to do very well, measuring the level of competition of this show.
Well, they'll have to do well if Vale Tudo is going to be a force in the sports entertainment field in America, because Americans love stars. And if you can develop a few stars, then like this young man here, Marcos, who is obviously Brazilian, but if Americans can develop a fighter this good, then we see some bright lights for this sport.
Absolutely.
All right, well, there's some replays, and just a typical jiu-jitsu move, getting the man down. And after the arms lock, you're right, you mentioned that the headbutts were very effective. Finally, the arms come down, and then the strikes begin, and they don't stop until he rolls his opponent over on his back, and there it is. This is the beginning of the end as he locks in with the chokehold, and that was it. Woo! Man, that was good.
Now we go to the 70-80 final, which will be against Rafael Cordeiro, the Thai fighter. As we see there, winning his first bout. A fresh Rafael will fight
Altair de Oliveira, if he can come back from that bad cut. We will see.
Yeah, but I have got indications that he will participate in the final.
That's the one tough guy. I don't know. That cut Altair looking a little confused. Oh, in comes Cordeiro, and Cordeiro continues his assault. It's like he never stopped from the opening bell. Look at this. Oh, it is nasty. He is in major trouble. And I'm talking about the man on the bottom, Altair de Oliveira. Wow, he is taking a beating, folks. What a display of power, precision by Rafael Cordeiro.
Rafael right now has a choke that he could apply, and for some reason he is not.
It looks like he could end this at any time. But he's decided not to at this point. I'll tell you what, I got to give a lot of credit to the man on the bottom. His face is split wide open, his head, I should say. He continues to bleed from a cut in his last fight. He's taken an unbelievable beating, and he continues. Look at this. He's taking some vicious shots to the face. If I'm him, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to worm my way out of the ring. I'm getting out of here. And then I'm going to go home and hide. Man, he is just, what a display of Vale Tudo fighting by the big man on top, Rafael Cordeiro. And look at, Altair said, "You're not taking me out of here. I'm going to hold on to these ropes." Because half of his body is on the apron. And now he's on his back. This is over, folks, in my opinion, in just moments as he applies the choke. And it is over. Boy, what a brilliant display in this championship fight. Rafael Cardiero over Altair de Olivia. Wow, unbelievable. He gets congratulations.
By Pelé, who's a fighter we're going to see coming up in other shows.
Well, there is Pele. I hadn't seen him earlier. Did he just arrive?
No, he's been there for a while.
Has he been there for a while? I didn't see him come up. Man, what a display, though. The man from the land of the Blondes is your champion in the 70 to 80 kilogram class, 154 pounds, and he hardly broke a sweat. He came out immediately, and certainly the fans love this guy, getting congratulations from a member of his corner. But look at that knee. That started it all, and then he just completely took over, Federico.
Oh, absolutely. An incredible stand-up fighter, proving the effectiveness of Muay Thai in a street fight, or Vale Tudo, per se. And Altair was helpless, both standing up and in the ground, never mind the fact he also had a cut. He was astonished by Rafael's blow.
He sure was. And I'll tell you what, though, I give that man on the bottom all the credit in the world. He could have easily quit after they broke him. And he said, no, I'm not quitting. But right there, he did the smart thing before he was choked to being unconscious. And there is your winner. Wow. I'll tell you, that was an amazing fight. Marco, of course, wins the 60-70K class. And Rafael Cordeiro is the champion, of course, in the 70-80 pound class. But we've had just a wonderful fight card here tonight, and it is not over, is it?
No, now we're going to have the pleasure of watching Zulu fight, super fight against Kunta Kinte. Kunta Kinte is a mixed fighter, who does a little bit of striking and grappling, and he's like the crowd's favorite.
What weight class will these guys fight?
They are the open weight division. Okay. Kunta Kinte is about 105 kilos, which translates to 230 pounds, 5'11". And
that name, Kunta Kinte, very famous in the U.S. An Alex Haley novel, very prominent character in the movie Roots. And a lot of pride with that name. This gentleman here, I think, a very class act on his own.
Yeah, this
is Zulu. He's going to play the crowd. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, they give him the mic, and he addresses the crowd, and he says it's a pleasure to be here, and that he.
Well, I'll tell you, he's an eloquent speaker.
That a fight should happen in the ring. That the fight begins in the ring and ends in the ring. That he's basically trying to encourage the crowd not to fight outside of the ring.
Like that happens here.
As you know, Gary, there are a lot of fights break.
I was kidding. I was being facetious.
And he's saying that he's fought in the same city early in his life, and he's very happy to see that he fought Helio Gracie actually again in the same city, and he's very happy to know that today, the sport is growing here. And he's saying that basically there's no man better than other, and both guys are stars. Zulu is a very charismatic fighter, and as you can tell, people love him. The way people look at him is like he's a megastar in the sport, because he's one of the pioneers. Not really a pioneer, because you have Helio Gracie as a pioneer.
Look at this.
Yeah,
look at this.
That is a 54-year man.
He's 54 years old.
54, in unbelievable shape, and then there's a lot of stories of him. He was kind of, I think I don't know if he copied or he had the same style of Muhammad Ali in his interviews.
He's not wearing gloves.
Yeah.
Very interesting. He is from the old school, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll tell you what, 54-year-old man, look at the body,
Yeah,
The younger man, of course, is cut. What a physique on him. Kunta Kinte.
he's fought everybody that you imagine, and
How did he do against the Gracies?
he fought 2 times against Rickson Gracie. One of the fights nobody ever saw. In the second fight, Rickson won, and Rickson was very young at that time.
Was that first fight in an alley?
No. Both fights are in the ring, and
Okay.
and he clowns. You see, he makes those faces, and that's one. I mean, he's the kind of like a
He's like the George Foreman
right.
of Brazilian Vale Tudo, isn't he?
Absolutely, and then you see you have Kunta Kinte very afraid of doing anything to this guy because as you can tell, Zulu is on 54. He's taller, he's stronger. He doesn't really care to be there. I mean, what I mean is he's not afraid. To him, that's one more fight, and
Why is he not wearing gloves?
because I mean that was one of the. He said the only way I'll fight is if I don't wear gloves. He uses a lot of slapping. He claims that punches, the open hands are more effective because you don't break the knuckles. So you have a Kunta Kinte very afraid of closing the distance, afraid to strike a little, but there goes a low kick. And as I was saying earlier, Zulu, I mean, one time in an interview, he said he was making what do you call the thing that you hang in
Necklace?
a necklace out of teeth from his opponent.
Okay. You know what? I bet he could too.
Yeah, so and he actually did have one, and in the interview he was wearing a field.
Oh my goodness. Well, he is the very large man in the gold trunks. He's a legendary Zulu
Yeah.
fighting the youngster Kunta Kinte.
Yeah, Zulu is a guy. You see, there's a
It's
slap,
a slap, yeah.
and
He's not in any hurry, is he?
none. He's just gonna walk around, clown, to win the crowd, and basically what he's gonna do is he's gonna try to wait for Kunta to make a mistake. He has defeated Sergio Battarelli, who was Battarelli was the referee in my show, the World Vale Tudo Championship.
Yep.
And Battarelli was a kickboxer that one time went to fight with Zulu, and Zulu choked him out in maybe 30 seconds, and choked Battarelli unconscious.
Well, it looks like he is starting to get a little more serious as he's about ready to fight. He's gotten his warm-up out of the way and starting to work up a little bit of a sweat. Kunta Kinte hasn't done anything yet, and now he takes the first move as he tries to wade in on the bigger Zulu.
Yeah, Zulu, I mean,
And he took a knee in the groin, and Zulu said, wait a minute,
apparently he complained to the referee. I don't know if they had some kind of a side rule that would be no groin shot. Because I mean, I would guarantee that Zulu is probably not even fighting about a cup. You're looking at an old school guy that doesn't believe in mouthpiece, in gloves, in cups, And there he goes. He's applying a guillotine choke. Zulu is a dangerous man who knows all the game, and maybe that's the end.
Still very powerful, even at the age of 54. Kunta Kinte holding on to the rope.
Kunta must have a very strong neck to be able to defend from this choke.
Oh boy, that choke is locked in there pretty good too.
Very deep in.
Look at this, and you're kind of waiting. Will he tap? And it doesn't look so like it right now.
Yeah, that choke from that first angle I saw was very well sink in, and you can see how Zulu is curving his back. I would say that King Kunta is in a lot of trouble.
He hasn't tapped yet. And
As I was saying earlier, you thought Zulu is a very, very dangerous guy because of the fact he's a showman. He gets there, he wins the crowd, and then he waits for the opponent to make a very smart fighter and a mature, of course.
And he'll beat you mentally, won't he? Many, many times. I bet he's got in with opponents that may have been more superior physically, but it looks like he will beat you mentally too. But right now, he is very physical as he's locked in that choke, that guillotine choke. But this kid must have an incredibly strong neck, Kunta Kinte.
Yeah, Zulu used to have an open challenge in Brazil. I mean, he's fought everybody. Growing up, I remember he was like the fierce man, like Tyson was in America. And because of his incredible size, as you know, Brazilian men are not so big, and you have a guy who's probably 6'4", and 240 pounds,
Yeah.
a very strong man, and with the ring experience.
Are you surprised he's still fighting at
Uh-oh,
54? Oh,
Couldn't escape.
he sure got out of that.
Looks like Zulu's trying to go to his back. No, Kunta fixes that. No.
Zulu's very strong as he goes down, and then both fighters go down. Kunta Kinte now is on top. Zulu going to try and kick him off with that great strength and size.
It looks like Zulu's trying to escape the ring, and Kunta showing not a lot of ground knowledge because he's not putting his hooks. Zulu is trying to escape the ring. As I said, he's an experienced fighter who will use the ring, the ropes to his advantage.
Yeah, and he's working his way out. Wow, look at this.
Yeah,
I think he could get out of there anytime he wants, but I think he's going to...
he doesn't feel that he's in any threatened position.
Right.
Kunta not showing a lot of ground knowledge.
No, not at all. I mean,
What I feel from Kunta is like a lot of respect to Zulu. So it's like you know what I'm saying?
oh, I exactly know what you're saying. And now what he's trying to do is get him back in the ring. And Zulu reverses it. A brilliant move by the 54-year-old as he reverses it. And now Kunta Kinte hanging on, using those big biceps to keep his man just locked to his chest.
Yeah, Zulu in a half guard. But Zulu is not a guy he's not a jiu-jitsu fighter. And he has his own style. So you don't see he's not fighting for the mounted position. He's in half a guard. But I mean, he believes he's a lot like a wrestler. He will fight from the guard and just hurt the opponent from the guard.
There's a reversal.
Yeah.
And now there's a Kunta Kinte. He taps out.
Yeah. What happened was Kunta was holding Zulu's head with both of his arms. It's called Mata Borrão.
Wow, that was stunning. There were, again, one more time, and if you've ever watched this fighting, it appears that one fighter looks like he may be taking another. Look at the people get into the ring. They're going crazy. This is like beating a landmark, beating a legend, as Kunta Kinte has stunned the world as he has taken out the very legendary Zulu. Zulu taps out. Unbelievable in our super fight tonight.
Yeah,
Kunta Kinte, I'll tell you what, he has made a big name for himself tonight.
Yeah, for those at home who didn't really see the moves, what happened was Kunta was in a mounted position with Zulu, and he put both of his hands behind Zulu's head. He locked the grip and stretched his body. And the name of this is a very basic a move in Brazil, and it's called Mata Borrão.
Well, it was awesome indeed, and that's certainly the greatest way to cap a wonderful, wonderful show.
We'll see that.